What's up everyone, this is CyberKnight 8610 and today we are going to have a discussion video over Arc-V Episode 2 and 3. Well, we were a little bit later I guess on Episode 2, but it ended up that we had a sub-version of it that was released on Saturday, which is almost a week later, than when the episode actually came out, and then it just so happens that Episode 3 was released today on the sub-version of it. So yeah, at least the third episode was faster, so hopefully in the future it'll be faster. I was just going to go ahead and still review these two episodes together and just watch the Japanese version, without subtitles of Episode 3 and just try to work through it, because it's, it's kind of easy whenever you're reading through some of the translations and stuff. They have like little summaries of it in English. You can kind of understand what's going on in the episode, so I was going to try to do that, but at least I didn't have to. We actually got a subversion. So yeah, let's go ahead and first off, let's talk about Episode 2. Episode 2 pretty much happened like we figured it would at the beginning. He ends up concluding the duel against Strong. He has Pendulum summoning then, and is just able to win. He summons Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon and just finishes him off that easy. So I guess he's kind of like the new champion, although they act like it, yet they really don't act like he's champion, so it's kind of weird to me. I was kind of wondering if, there would be something to that, like he would be like a star or something at the beginning, or something like that. Also, kind of a thing that bothered me in this episode, I don't know why, but it was that they talk about, his, the guy that's, I guess, kind of like Kaiba in this series. I don't know, it's the guy with the glasses. I'm not really sure. I don't know if we know his name yet. I don't think we do. And, anyway, he talking about, like, the records and stuff of Yugioh, and it ends up that he's, like, lost half of his duels before. He doesn't have really an impressive record. And that kind of bothers me. I don't really like it when the protagonist is weaker. I know some people will probably disagree with me on that, but I liked it a little bit better, like with Yugi. I know he lost a few duels, but usually it was kind of weird circumstances. And then Jaden lost a couple too, but kind of same thing. I don't think Yusei ever lost a duel at all. And Yuma, he's kind of more like this as well, where he lost a bunch too. So I kind of like the protagonists when they're a little bit more, like they never lose kind of thing. I don't know, I just find that to be a little bit better, but I guess they're trying to make them a little bit more human. So yeah, I guess I understand it, but I still liked it a lot better when it's like Yusei and stuff that were, they were just like legendary duelists. They never lost. So that was just one thing that kind of bothered me on that. Also, speaking of that, actually, in this episode, he goes against his friend Yuzu. I'm trying to remember all these names, so hopefully I get all the names right. Anyway, Yuzu, and she uses these Fantasia monsters. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about them. They look really interesting, too. There's these I believe they're fairy-type monsters, and yeah, Fantasia. That just seems kind of funny, some kind of Disney copyright on that? I don't know. I just kind of wondered about that whenever I saw them. And, he tries to, of course, use Pendulum summoning. All these kids are trying to go to that school now that he's part of to see him. He's now a big star, and they want to see Pendulum summoning, so he's trying to do that. And he's trying to figure out if, if he's in a jam or something, if that's what kind of makes Pendulum summoning happen or what. You can tell he just doesn't really know how he did it, kind of thing. And I guess he really is the only person, besides, of course, probably the guy with the glasses on the show, that has Pendulum monsters. So yeah, I was kind of wondering on that in the last episode. But yeah, of course he forgets how to go Pendulum summoning. He doesn't get the right skills. I think it's what happened on that and stuff too, and he doesn't do it right, so he's not able to, of course, do that, and Yuzu ends up beating him in this. That's what I was saying. Yeah, he also loses on this. But yeah, you can kind of see that he's really sad that he doesn't understand. He still doesn't understand why he wasn't able to, and that's pretty much where the second episode ends. So yeah, on that, again, that's the only thing that really bugs me on this, is that I wish he was more like the other ones, where he was like legendary duelist, you never lose, that kind of thing. But I guess that is the whole, let's try to make him human sort of attitude they're having. Other than that, episode 2 is pretty cool. I like the Fantasia monsters. Hopefully we'll see more of those. And I'm hoping that the side characters will actually duel more. It seems like, I don't think in Zell, it seemed like more towards the end, and it was more like the Kaiba characters, and that kind of stuff would duel. You didn't really see, like the female character stuff really dueling, and that's pretty much with every series. So I'm hoping maybe they're going to change that up. I know, like even in the first series, I think Taya only dueled like once, maybe twice, and that was in like the filler episode with Noah, I think was like the second time she dueled. But yeah, maybe they'll kind of change it up, and all the other characters, we'll see them actually dueling. The guy that looks like Elvis, I don't know his name, it's like other friend that's like bigger, he's like drawn just completely different, his head's like huge and everything too. But yeah, maybe we'll see a bunch of them start dueling and stuff too. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. But then of course we lead into episode 3. Episode 3, there's this new character, I believe his name is Shingo. I'm trying to remember all these names. Being third episode, I'm still like, okay, what's this name and that name? And, yeah, evidently this kid, of course, is the one we see at the end of episode 2, where he is supposed to go after Yugioh, and yeah, that's basically what happens in this episode. He tricks him, pretends like he's one of his friends, takes him to his school, which is LDS, I believe. Yeah, that's like the big school, evidently. It's where they have all the coolest stuff. It's more like a army training sort of thing. You know, they really take it seriously. They had like weights where they were like drawing cards and stuff. It's just kind of weird on there. And also, what was kind of cool is that they showed a plaque that talked about all different forms of summoning. So it talks about like sea summoning, synchros, all that too. Which also brings us back to the whole thing, like my friends were discussing, is Arc-V in a different dimension? Like, supposedly Zell was in a different dimension all on its own, away from 5Ds, you know, GX in the original series. So is this the same way, or what's going to happen? Because evidently, this series has all the summonings. You know, I don't think there were any synchro summonings at all in Zell, unless you count the manga. I think the manga is the only form of Zell that has synchro summonings, and that's pretty recent too. So yeah, it's just kind of weird on that, so I'm going to assume that it is like in the same, if there is a separate universes, that it is in the same universe as Yusei and all them as well, unless it's, you know, kind of off by itself even. Maybe they kind of gave up on that idea, because in all honesty, that's just kind of dumb to have them kind of separated like that. I mean, you know, it's just kind of cool that they are in the same universe. To me, I just kind of like that idea a little bit better. Have some continuity with it. I like it better when they reference the older Duelist. So maybe it'd be possible for him to even say something about Yugi or something in the future. That'd be pretty cool. Other than that, though, going back to, of course, episode 3, you see him, he tricks him, of course, he takes away his pendulum monsters, and I was hoping that maybe he had his own pendulum monsters, but he ends up taking away Yugioh's pendulum monsters, gives him some cards, of course, to fill the spots of the cards he has, and you see a lot of older cards, like Hungry Hamburger, you see one of the 6 Samurais, you see a bunch of older cards. It was kind of cool to see that, and yeah, he ends up getting, I think it's Block Spider, I think is the card he picks up and uses. And anyway, because of course, these action duels, the way they're made, the environments become real and everything, so it ends up his friends are like on this skyscraper thing, he's trying to get to them, which was pretty cool. He kind of showed off like some tricks and stuff, sort of like, it seemed like Jaden did like at the end of his series, and like how Yusei was, where he's like, you know, scaling walls and using that like whip snake, I can't remember the name of it, it's like Viper Whip or something like that. And he's using that to like Spider-Man, basically, to go up all these skyscraper stuff to save them, which I thought was kind of neat. I kind of like seeing that. That's one of the cool things about action duels that I like. And we also find out that on action duels, if you recall, I remember talking about them in the first episode, where evidently like these spell cards you pick up and they can help you out. Well, in this episode, they're also action traps, and they literally are traps too. It's just kind of a, you know. And if you pick up the card, you're thinking it's a spell or it's a trap, and then it will actually do damage to the person that picks it up like that. So Yuya ends up accidentally doing this twice, trying to get the action spells. And they have like negative effects. I think it like decreases his monster's attack both times. And so yeah, I kind of found it to be an interesting concept to it. I'm also still wondering, maybe they're monsters or something too, where you have to like fight the monster whenever you accidentally do that. I'm kind of wondering on that. I do like the idea of that, though, where it's not always such a big plus to have to run around and pick up the spell stuff, because I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about these just yet. I like the idea, but it's kind of like the speed duels for 5Ds. They were kind of cool, but I don't know. I still like just regular dueling. You know, I just kind of like that a little bit better. So hopefully they'll kind of have a mix of that at least. Like 5Ds still had a few duels where they were on the ground, you know, and just dueling. But yeah, after a while, I hope I don't get annoyed with this, because I liked it. I just like it a lot better when they duel like normal, like in the real world. So yeah, other than that, of course, he's ended up dueling, and then basically by the end of the episode, Shingo ends up with the guy's help with the glasses. He's like talking to him, ends up pendulum summoning. And the guy with the glasses, I'm going to assume that he has the ability to do this as well, because he kind of acts like he's saying it with Shingo through the speaker-like thing on his. I think they're talking through the dual disc or something. That he's going through the whole thing, you know, saying about setting the scale and all that, and calling out the names of the cards too. So I'm going to assume he's the only other person that can actually pendulum summon. Like, if he wasn't there talking to Shingo, he wouldn't be able to use them. I guess he wouldn't even know how they would work either, because you even see Yuya suffer until like the beginning of the episode, where he finally supposedly understands how to pendulum summon and masters them, but of course gets them stolen. So yeah, just kind of weird. It ends on a cliffhanger, of course, with Shingo ends up summoning 3 different monsters. They're like, of course, dart monsters. I guess that's kind of his like thing, is like throwing darts, like we saw at the end of episode 2. So yeah, and he's just really excited that he has the pendulum monsters now, and of course Yuya's in a bad spot. It makes me think though that since there are more pendulum monsters out there, we're going to see Yugioh end up having some other Pendulum monsters and summoning those, I think, in the next episode. But yeah, what do you guys think about these episodes so far? I know it's kind of a lot to talk about, 2 episodes, that's why I'm trying to do it sort of quickly, so I don't make this video too terribly long. But yeah, what do you think of this series so far? For me, I kind of like this. I like this idea of that not everyone can Pendulum summon, but I'm still hoping that it won't be, just a chosen few. Like, hopefully, we're going to see a lot more in the future. Also, I see this Yugioh guy as being one of Yugioh's friends later on. He's going to be sort of like Shark, I guess, of the series, where he's going to be, kind of the bad guy, but then later on be, like, his best friend. And it's going to be the same, I wonder about with this guy with the glasses. He's going to be like of course, like I said, he's like the Kaiba or Kaito or Kite or whatever you want to say of Zell as well. So, yeah, I'm kind of wondering on that. I can't wait to see. The only thing that kind of annoys me on Arc-V is I was hoping they'd have a little bit something to collect on it, and what I mean by that is, I'm not a huge fan of Zell, I've said it plenty of times, but what Zell did that was really cool is that they had number cards, and I really like collecting those. You've seen I've done number updates and all that stuff too, so I'm hoping Arc-V will have something like that as well. I thought that was a brilliant idea on their part. You'd always want to get all numbers. There's plenty of people out there like me that want to collect them, so let's hope that Arc-V may have something like that as well, or at least, even have like a God card thing, because I don't think Zell did that, have like their own version of God cards. But yeah, that's just a few grabs I have. Hopefully those will change in the future though. And so far, I'm actually enjoying this series. I kind of like action duels better than speed duels, but I'm hoping it won't get annoying later on. And I can't wait to see more people Pendulum summoning, and hopefully his friends will actually be useful. Like, we're going to see them duel and not just be, bad at it. Because that's what always annoys me on shonen animes anyway, from Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, all these different shows. How the secondary characters are just useless, and it's always the main character's the only one that can do anything. So I'm hoping that everyone will be able to duel, and we're going to see a lot of these others be strong too. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about the series so far. If you're excited, not excited about it, if you don't like it. Hopefully people still out there are giving it a chance. I'm thinking it will be pretty good in the end, or I'm really hoping so. And yeah, tell me what you guys think. And of course, I will catch you guys later. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And hopefully we won't have to wait very long on episode 4. Hopefully it will be pretty quick as well. So always thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.